Hey guys, thanks for joining me. And if you like what you see, please subscribe.
Hello, peoples. Welcome to Sharp Ends. Recently, I did a video about the best small general fixed knife that I have in my collection, and I ranked them all, and there's going to be a link right here. And then I followed that up with my encore, which was best medium fixed blades, and I ranked them, and that list is right there. And now it's time for my big boys. That's right, my dogs are coming out. Here are all the biggest knives I have in my collection that are fixed blades, and I am going to rank them, and I'm going to talk about them and why I like them. These are, some of these in here I think are definitely right for you. And then we're going to perhaps talk about the differences and why you might want a big one versus a medium and a small one. But we'll get into that later. First, I'd like to ask you guys to please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It really helps, and it helps the channel immensely. So just go ahead and smash that like button right now or leave a comment. Really appreciate it. And thank you to my Patreon crew. You guys are awesome. You make the magic happen. I'm going to start off by talking about these in order of roughly what they cost. If I do that, then I need to reorder them maybe a little bit like this. Probably like this. So I'm gonna talk about them briefly, each one of these guys, from low to high, and then at the end I'm going to rank them. I'm going to talk about a little bit about what they're good for, their grind, their steel, and all that good stuff. So first off, the Maracniv Robust. You know what? First, actually, what I'm going to talk about is what is a large knife. So for me, a small knife is 3¼ inches or less, and a medium knife is 3½ to 4, and a large is 4 plus. So that range, 3½ to 4, seems really small given all the variants, but it's actually very specific for a reason for me. Medium knife for me, that's what it is. It's not that I'm not a god. I'm just sharp ends, but that's what it is for me. So all of these knives are 4 inches or plus. Okay, so the Robust is an $80 knife. It comes with a plastic sheath and a little dangly. Pretty good for the price and everything. Sharp spine. It's got a slight drop point, very finish kind of profile to this. It's got a steep Scandi grind. Scandi grinds are great for splitting wood. This is a good knife. It has the tang is small. It is a full tang, but you don't see it in the spine. It's smaller in here. This is a high carbon steel, stainless steel, obviously, and the brushing. It has like two belts. It has a belt lines here and belt lines here for the Scandi grind. This, because of the Scandi, it is a Scandi grind. It stays sharp forever. It doesn't have a secondary bevel, so it comes down big flat. A wedge here. This will be good for any of your bushcraft type knives, steel, things like that. Now, a regular Mora knife's companion, say, or a pro, is going to be like $14 or $16. Definitely smaller, isn't full tang. This also has this butt part here, which is good for getting in stakes or bashing in tree nails that you make, or lots of different things, right? So this knife is definitely recommendable and is the cheapest one here. That's $80 for this guy. Next, the Terava, which technically could be cheaper than this guy. So if you're just buying the knife, this is $59. And I got, this is the 140 centimeters. There's also a 110 centimeters, which is smaller, which is basically the size of this guy. Okay. The reason I got the 140 was because I wanted something bigger to go and chop in my woods. Like sometimes I need to go out there and I don't necessarily want my machete. Machete might be a little overkill for what I'm doing, but this is the perfect size for that. And it really is a nice chopper for doing yard work, as well as chopping larger pieces of wood. Nice longer flat for the Scandi grind. Definitely finish inspired. Slight drop point there at the end. Thick behind the tip. It's got this nice like carbon finish here to kind of protect part of the blade. Terava is one of the best values you could possibly get. Dutch Bushcraft Knives, I think, called it the best budget knife you could possibly get for $59. Now, this actually costs $100 with this super sweet sheath. The sheet is leather. It's got the dangly on here. It has a plastic insert in there, and it snaps in real nice. And then when you close this button up, it is locked. It is never coming out of your pocket. All around, I think for $100, this is absolutely a screaming good deal. And like I said, if you want to get the 110, it's even a little cheaper than that, maybe 95. You're not saving much money by getting it just a little bit smaller, but very, very cool. It's just about what size you want. Again, the Scandi is a larger Scandi, like larger flat here coming down to the point. That's going to make it easier for whittling and for carving stuff. Still perfectly good for slashing and burning though, and chopping wood. All right, next. God, I love this knife. This knife really kind of changed a lot of things for me. I really thought it was kind of revolutionary. I got made fun on for making a video about this, about calling it just an awesome revolutionary knife for me because it looks so simple and it looks like everything else out there. But the LT Wright Genesis, which again, Dutch Bushcraft Knives just recently did a video about it. You know, it doesn't look like it should be as good as it is. It hits way above its level. The handle is thick and big, looks like a hammer or an axe handle, and but it's still very comfortable. I like these scallops here for fiddly little things. It has a sharp spine for throwing massive amount of sparks. One of the best spark throwers out there in my estimation. This is A2 steel, this particular knife steel. Very easy to keep sharp. I've had this for a while. You can see it's been beat up and gone through the wars. Still sharp as ever. I haven't sharpened it once. I don't even know if I've stropped it, and it will still cut paper like a champ. Something about this drop point, this geometry, you can bash it forever. It's just a great knife. How much did this cost me? That's a really good question. I think it was around $180. They're available here and there. It's one of their most popular brands. This is LT Wright, made in America. It's got this little symbol here. They usually use knife steels. Of them with Bark River, you'll lots of people like both of the companies, Bark River and these guys, and you know other ones. There's other companies that make large knives like these, but this feels. I mean, this is made by hand, obviously. The people there are extremely good. Like, I like the people as personalities. They are online all the time, commenting, leaving quotes, cups of coffee quotes and stuff like that. They're just obviously very, very good people. And I like supporting good businesses. So Genesis, absolute banger. Does almost all woodcraft or crafting things just better than almost any other knife. I can't recommend this knife highly enough. And next, this is a new knife to me. In fact, I haven't even done my unboxing video for this guy yet. But I did want to include that in this. This is the Euro Bushcrafter. It's a first production run for this guy. Bark River Knives, made in America, Magna Cut on this guy, so a much higher end steel. Just over $200 for this guy. The prices will vary on these greatly. This is the micarta, matte micarta linen, and it was the cheapest one on there, and that's what I got. I don't think that you should necessarily spend a lot of money on something like a mammoth tooth, which I think they cost like $600 to $800 for a mammoth tooth scale on one of these guys. It's a big knife. It's a 4-inch blade. But as far as this goes, so far, I really like it. And one of the reasons why I really like it is because it's a convex Scandi grind combo. And I have the ultralight version of this, small version of this. And this thing has just been an absolute banger for me. I just really like it. And this is writ large. I really like the ergos on this. Like I think I said, this was a first production run. Anytime you see that compass mark, it means that Bark River made this specifically for bushcrafting. I'm really curious to check this out. I assume that this little divot right here is for fire steels, but I don't know. I need to double check that. It has a little bit of jimping up here on the top for choking up, which is cool. Overall, I think that this is going to be a banger of a knife. I don't know if I'm going to include it in my final evaluation of this or not. We'll see. Let's get there. So, all right, there's that guy. Very curious to see how this guy works out. Nice little drop point. Magna Cut, of course, is a really good steel. You do need to. It is very rust resistant. Blood and lemon or citric stuff will definitely add patina to it. Next, we have the Bravo. This one's the ramped version. Some people like the ramp, some people don't. I like the ramp. Yeah, this was one of my very first Bark River knives ever. Magna Cut. This guy's been gone through the wars. Convex grind almost all the way up. Very sharp, very utilitarian. You can see why this is a classic and why it's used so much. This was around 250, I believe. I think this is the Bravo 1.25. Could be wrong about that. I'm not 100% sure. I forgot to look it up. But again, I really like this knife. I kind of wish I had gotten a 3V version of this because I really, really like 3V, and I feel like the Bravo 3V would have been a better choice for me, and just for a completionist standpoint. And I got the shiny finish on this guy. I don't know if I had to go back in time and get the matte, I don't know if I would. These are both matte, and I really like the feeling and the texture. It just gives just a little bit more grip to it when it's matte. Would I go back? I don't know. It's fine as is. But you know, the ergos on this are a little bit different than all the other knives. Even this guy has more of a bushcraft style ergos to it, which means it's a little bit thicker in the hand so that you can do more chopping and more heavy duty stuff. This is a much more of a, it feels like a more finesse type knife. And I've tried to put this head to head and try to decide which one I like better. It's been really hard for me to try to determine that. I think in the end, this one might slightly outdo this one, but I use this one in different situations than I do the Genesis. Like the Genesis, the Bravo, I use in different situations. This guy might be the happy medium between both of them, so I'm really excited to try to check that out. LT Wright has a program called the Pot House, and on it, you can do like a 4 on the floor type thing. This is the GNS, which is a combination tactical knife and like Genesis. It's got a large, what do you call this? I guess you would call this a saber grind. Nice little swedge up here. I got this shiny with black lining, so it was a semi-custom in copper handles. I like this knife a lot. I wish I used it more. It feels really good. It locks in a lot of LT Wright, or more practically shaped handles, let's call it. This one, the ergos on this really lock it in really nicely. I like the red canvas micarta or Richlite. Is this? I don't know. This is red paper maybe, but I really like this a lot. Really subtle color, and this is O2 tool steel. I wish I used this more. I do like it. I am planning on keeping it in my collection. It's just, yeah, it's a beautiful knife. This I keep around because it's beautiful, not necessarily for its practicality, although I'm sure it's a very practical knife. If I was left with no other knife, and this was the knife that I took camping, I'm sure I'd be absolutely fine. Speaking of things that aren't necessarily practical, but very fun, this is the extra large Northern Hunter. They make a regular size and a medium size knife of this, or a large. They make a large, regular, and an extra large. This extra large, they barely made any of this. This guy is probably the biggest fixed blade knife I have besides like my machete or my old school Bowie. Where is my tape measure? But you can see that it is easily, so I know for a fact because I just measured it, this is 4 inches. So this is easily over 5 inches. Oh, there's my tape measure. Yeah, 5¼ inches of sharpened blade length. This is made for skinning large game. And this is the Richlite paper, or the paper that I got. This was also a 4 on the floor made one. I don't know if they've ever done a production run of this, or if it's only ever been a custom or a semi-custom run on their for their Pot House club. I got the black and red liners, black. Really like it. Ergos are really, really good. And as far as like skinning game, this thing is the beast. It has a slashing knife almost. I mean, the tip doesn't come above the spine, but like as far as like curving through meat, it does a really, really good job. Nice amount of belly. This came very sharp. I believe that this is a saber grind as well. So yeah, I appreciate this knife a lot. It's a lot of fun. It looks great. All right, cool. So now it comes down to this. So my specifications for this are a combination of ergos, tool steel, and application and grind, right? So what I'm ranking these for are like the best general purpose one. I'm going out of the house, and the apocalypse has happened, and I can only take one large knife with me. What am I going to take? Okay. Some of the factors are, you don't necessarily want a steel that's hard to sharpen if you're going out into the apocalypse. You want a general use knife that might be easy to sharpen in the field, right? Having said that, the grind can keep a knife sharper for longer. So something like a convex grind is going to stay much sharper a lot longer than something like maybe a saber grind with a secondary bevel here, right? So yeah, I don't want something to slip out of my hand. I want it to be utilitarian. I want to be able to start a fire with it. So the way it throws sparks is really important. All right, cool. So high carbon steel. Love this knife. Doesn't have a full tang, although it does have that. This is actually pretty darn, this is a great knife. I would be fine with this. Apocalypse happened and this is what I had to grab. Yeah, I'd be fine. But I'm going to put this last. Next, the Tarava, phenomenal knife, the high carbon steel. It doesn't throw sparks as well as the other knives. It is a good chopper, but I think that I'm going to go ahead, and it doesn't have a full spine. It has this loop here, which is, I guess, useful for a nice big lanyard. It really pains me to do this, but I'll put the Tarava last because it's not a general purpose knife, although I absolutely love it for what I use it for going out in the backyard and chopping down a bunch of stuff, and not caring if I lose it or if I break it. For this one ranking, I'm going to put it last right now. All right, so then what comes in third to last? All right, for now, I'm going to go ahead and say that this comes in third to last. It has my favorite grind probably on the table, and it's the only one of this variety, which is the combination Scandi convex grind, but it is MagnaCut. It'll be harder to sharpen in the field, and also I haven't tested it a lot. I just got this knife. I haven't even shown you guys the unboxing and first impressions. So for right now, I'm going to put it here. I think that if I were to do this video in 6 months from now and I had used this knife a lot, this would be much higher on the scale. But for right now, it's going there. Next, I am going to say, so if I was seriously going to grab a knife, would I grab this before I would grab these three? I don't think I would. I think I would probably put it like this. So this is actually, this bumps in here, I think. Is that true? And this is 02, so easy to sharpen. These are easy to, yeah. The only thing is it doesn't have much texture on the hand, so it might slip out, but I do like the blade shape, and I do like it. I'm just going to put it here. This is the GNS from LT Wright. So we'll put that there. Next, let's talk about this honking big guy. This is pretty big. It would be the biggest knife out there. Definitely be the scariest if I needed to fight someone off or I needed to use it for self-defense. The handle is a little slick. This is ABL, which is a phenomenal, I didn't even mention that, ABL, which is one of my favorite stainless steels for fixed blades. Only one that is ABL on this table. Would it be easy to keep sharp? Probably not. Would it be good for hunting tasks and bushcraft in general? Yeah, it would be good for that. I'm going to put it right here. All right. So it comes down to these final two. What is first and what is second? I think I already hinted at this. I think, though, that I would probably go with the Genesis. It always shocks me that it's this knife. It's this knife. If you haven't watched the Dutch Bushcraft guys use this knife on their video that just recently came up, I would suggest that you check it out. They explained it better than me. This, it's going to be easy to sharpen because it's A2. It stays sharp forever because of the blade geometry. It cuts through wood really nicely. It starts fires really nicely. It's okay at doing food prep. The handle is nice and beefy. It feels like an axe handle. You can use it forever. You can pound on this thing. It's never going to break. Full spine. It's got a nice matte finish on it for me. So this guy is first, and then second I'm going to go with the Bravo, which is a classic for a reason. I love this knife. If this was the only knife I had on me for the end times, I would be absolutely fine. But MagnaCut, harder to sharpen and in the fields if I don't have stones or something like that, or I have to, whatever. The convex grind is great. So I'm going to put that here, which ends up making this guy third, which is pretty crazy considering I haven't. This is just on intuition again. I don't even know if this guy counts in this ranking because, like I said, I haven't done an official testing of it, but I had to include it because I just have a feeling that it is definitely going to be high on my rankings. It might even come in first in 6 months if I do this video again. So that is my large fixed blade collection of knives that I highly recommend. I do have other ones which I'm not necessarily recommending, but these are the ones that I definitely recommend, all the way from $80, $60 without the sheath, all the way up to closer to 300. Some of these knives are. A majority of them are like under 200, 200, 200, and then over 200. So if you can find them, these two in particular are pretty darn hard to find. Everything else is available currently. Maybe not the Genesis, but this is regularly comes up. Okay. Thanks so much for watching this video. Check out my other videos, like, subscribe, leave a comment, really helps the channel. If you want to help support make this content, follow the link down below. You can click on the Patreon for $3 a month. You get entered to win a knife of the month. Thanks so much, guys. Wow, that was a long video. Thanks for sticking with me. If you stuck all the way to the end, you win. All right, bye-bye now. See you next time.